Hi there, welcome back to Mysteries Channel. Thank you very much for clicking on my video. Today's video came about the same way about 80% of my videos come about. In my head, I think I'm going to do a video about this, and as I'm researching that, I come across something even more interesting. What I was going to do a video about was the oracles of the ancient past and how they're kind of pervasive around the world. People did the same thing. They went to oracles or they had lot divination. They did different types of things to get glimpses into the future or to answer hard-pressed questions they had about their lives. While I was researching this, I came across a book, and the book is called The Gospel of the Lots of Mary. I had never heard of this book until I was researching it recently, and it made me think that's strange because I thought Christians were against this type of thing. So let's do a video on that. That's what we're going to do. This book, The Gospel of the Lots of Mary, was given to Harvard in 1984 by Beatrice Kalekian in memory of her husband, Charles Dicron Kalekian. Her father-in-law likely procured this as he is said to have been an avid collector of Coptic antiquities. The book itself is very small. It's less than 3 inches by 3 inches and would fit in the palm of your hand. It contains 160 pages, onto which 37 oracles are printed on parchment sleeves. The outer portion of the book is made of vellum. That vellum is made of sheepskin. The script used was a sophisticated style of writing called Coptic, and it was very neatly done. A lot of care was taken into making and producing this book. There is no mention of an author. Where and when it was written remains unknown. The codex is written in Coptic and dates to about the 6th century, most probably from Egypt, and it is thought that the book was used by a diviner at the shrine of Saint Colothus in Egypt. The book itself shows clear signs of wear and tear, complete with dirty fingerprints, black smudges on the pages from constant use, suggesting that this book was sought many times. This new gospel is not a story about Jesus. It is a previously unknown text of Christian oracular answers that would be received in a divinatory session. Although it was titled a gospel, this book contains no narrative, no plot, or even sayings of Jesus. Instead, this book contains a series of oracles. These were not intended to be read in progression or in order, but individually, after retrieving them through a divinatory procedure described or ascribed to as a lot. The book is laid out to display only one oracle at a time. It was designed for people that were faced with a difficult decision or needed insight into the future. These people would contact a diviner, who would perform a ritual to locate the oracle in the codex and then interpret the divinatory text. A person seeking answer to a particular query or concern would open the book to a random page and read a statement designed to serve as an answer. Kind of like tarots are used in a sense, or runes, or the magic 8-ball. Basically, it is believed that you first pray to God. Then you asked a question about the issue you needed an answer for in your life. Then you opened the book to a random page and the answer would be given to you in the form of the oracle written on that page. This practice was called sortilege, and it was practiced in Egypt and the Mediterranean widely. Sortilege or lot divination was practiced in the ancient world, continues in certain traditions to this very day. As a matter of fact, in a matter as important as the replacement to Judah, the remaining 11 apostles turned to sortilege. First, the apostles prayed to the Lord. This was an important aspect of divination of the past. Then, as the text reports, they cast lots for them, and the lot fell on to Matthias, and he was added to the 11 apostles. This shows up in Acts 1, verses 20 through 26. These practices were an important means of decision-making in antiquity. This was a practice that was taken seriously, and it was used by all strata of society in ancient times. Everyone from slaves to noblemen to emperors used divination freely. Then around the year 200, government officials and emperors began issuing decrees against the practice. In the year 199 CE in Egypt, it was publicly posted that all who were found to engage in divination or magic would be put to death. And these measures continued and spread throughout the ancient Mediterranean. In the year 359, under the rule of Emperor Constantius, again, I suck at pronunciations, the forced closing of the Oracle of Abydos was observed. Christian leaders also condemned Christian divination, naming it among a series of crimes that Christians should not commit and forbidding it repeatedly in church councils. This may even be why the book was so small. The tiny nature of the book made it easier to conceal. And although there were earlier observed instances where lot divination was practiced in biblical writings as well as among the clergy, church leaders would always fall back on biblical prohibitions of such practices, making it quite dangerous to have a book like this in your possession. You would need to stash it pretty darn quick when the Gestapo came to burn your books. I mean, the early Christian church. Now, throughout the book, the text referred to hardships, suffering, violence, and threats. These are the questions people needed answers to the most. Will my tenure as a slave ever end? Will the king or the emperor steal my farmland? Will my sick relative get better? Will the war kill my sons? These are the things that you would go to a diviner to get answers to. For the most part, I'm sure there are other things too, like what day should I get married on or whatever. Everybody knows the type of questions you would want to ask a fortune teller, and I think this was no different, right? I tried to find a full transcription of this book, but that was impossible. Maybe not if I would have bought the book called Forbidden Oracles, but I think it's about $100 and I'm not spending $100 on that book. So I scoured the internet and I found what I could find on it. And if I ever get an extra $100 to buy the book, well, I will tell you what all 37 oracles were. But until then, we're just going to have to go with a few that I found. The opening at the beginning of the book begins with this: the Gospel of the Lots of Mary, the mother of the Lord Jesus Christ, she to whom Gabriel the archangel brought the good news. He who will go forward with his whole heart will obtain what he seeks. Only do not be of two minds. Now, another oracle I found that was in there, but I couldn't find what number oracle it was, says this: you know, O human, that you did your utmost again. You did not gain anything but loss, dispute, and war. But if you were patient a little, the matter will prosper through the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Then we go on to Oracle 1. O human, with their tongues they love you greatly, but their heart is far from you. And you know what happened to you before today, that you almost lost your life. In any case, they certainly lie in wait for you. Oracle 17. The peace of God will be with you in all your days, and you will rejoice, and a large harvest will be yours in the year. And you will rejoice in the works with your hands, because the angel of the Lord will walk before you. Oracle 24. Stop being of two minds, O human, whether this thing will happen or not. Yes, it will happen. Be brave and do not be of two minds, because it will remain with you a long time, and you will receive joy and happiness. Oracle 25. Go, make your vows, and what you promised, fulfill it immediately. Do not be of two minds, because God is merciful. It is he who will bring about your request for you and do away with the affliction in your heart. And this page here that is most shown on the internet is Oracle 25. Oracle 28. Be brave in everything, because your concern is over nothing. The Lord will help you with his right hand. He will send Michael, his angel, and he will help you. And you will conquer those who fight with you, and he will humble your enemies before you. Oracle 30. The Lord Jesus fights on your behalf. You will find joy and be happy in your short lifespan. Oracle 34. Go forward immediately. This is a thing from God. You know that, behold, for many days you are suffering greatly, but it is of no concern to you, because you have come to the haven of victory. And finally, Oracle 37, which would be the last oracle in this book. Jesus Christ will give you a good fruit and a prosperous life. But if you are patient a little, the matter will prosper through the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So what was at stake with divination? Divination that the masses were doing. Was it the access to knowledge? Knowledge of political developments, the life and the death of emperors, seemingly trivial matters in the lives of ordinary people? Why would they want to stamp this out so hard? Why would they get rid of all of this? We know that Constantius, whatever his name is, carried out an active campaign against magicians, astrologers, and diviners. Was it because he was becoming fearful that others might use these means to make someone else emperor? Or was it because he was a Christian and he was trying to stamp out paganism? I'm guessing that was the latter. Constantius, he was known for wanting to get rid of superstition out of the Roman Empire. He wanted it removed, and he believed it was a pagan practice. He wanted to stop the sacrifices that were being made to the gods, and he also wanted to stop divination, because these were two very integral parts of paganism. Although it looks like in the very beginning, the church was doing it as well. According to Libanius, who was a Greek pagan, he says that Constantius was effectively under the control of others who inspired him to end pagan sacrifices. And with that, everything else had to end as well. In an effort to stamp out paganism, earlier Christians aptly encouraged the emperor to take even more extreme measures to abolish their practices. Some questions remain, though. One being, what's the difference between a prophet and a diviner? That's really easy. One the church says they're okay with. Yeah, no, honestly, I don't know. I know that in reality, what was really happening was a change in the system of power. One religion for another religion. You do have to wonder, though, what was so terrible with the other religion that it would have to be changed like this? And I do think that that's usually how it goes. There's some kind of injustice happening when there are huge overthrows of power. Typically, it's because there's an injustice going on. Was it the sacrifices being made? Who really knows? Who knows? But anyway, this is my little video on the Gospel of the Lots of Mary. I hope you enjoyed. If you like, please share, subscribe, do your thing. And you guys have yourselves a very great day.